Yo, yo, what's good, good people? I welcome you back again to a brand new podcast presentation of Yosef's 2 Cents. I'm your man, Yosef X, and tonight my subject is going to be discussing the dangerous mindset of the modern day woman, not just in the United States, but in the world. And it's simple. We're going to simply talk about loser females are getting desperate, and they are. It's going to be one of these podcasts where I hate to tell you that I told you so, but I told you so. So don't go anywhere. Sit back, unwind, and relax, and let us prepare to do what we always do, and that is simply sit down and reason together. We'll be right back in a few moments. All right, good folks. We are back, and I hope that your Sunday has been a peaceful one, a restful one. And if you had to go to work, I hope it was very productive. And as always, I like to thank all of you for making Yosef's 2 Cents a part of your Sunday evening routine. Brother Sam, Nadia, what's going on? Thank you so much for joining me again. Especially you, Nadia. I hadn't seen you have your own profile in a long time. It's good to have you to join us. Thanks for joining the fray. I'm going to keep this podcast as simple, short, and sweet as I possibly can. Because as you all know, I'm still fighting this head cold. I'm still not 100%. I'm getting there. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not there yet. I'm almost there, but I'm not there just yet. And I'm not feeling my best tonight, so I'm going to keep it as short as I can. Now, somebody asked the question, who are these people that's on the screen? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly who these people are. That to your left on the screen is the reigning and defending UFC middleweight champion of the world, Mr. Israel Adesanya. The woman to the right of the screen is now his estranged ex-girlfriend, Miss Charlotte Powdrell. Now, the reason why I have these people on the screen is because it's one of these podcasts where I'm going to tell you, I told you so. Well, what do you mean? You told us so. What are you talking about? My day has been a bit crazy, but it's been blessed nonetheless. It wasn't completely breezy, but it was kind of crazy, but it was blessed nonetheless. I appreciate it. I see the Queen has returned. Yes, indeed. And I appreciate the well wishes, Brother Sam. And before I continue on, my thoughts and my prayers are still with you and your parents and the rest of your family due to the loss in your family, man. So we're definitely are praying for you. You're in our thoughts and in our prayers. Now, like I said, this is going to be one of these podcasts where I say, I told you so, because the majority of my brothers in the melanated community have been raising $1 billion worth of hell about the behavioral patterns of these dysgenically bred black women. Now, don't get me wrong. The black woman, especially in modern times, they certainly are not paragons of virtue. I'm not saying that they are the greatest thing since sliced bread, because this generation of females, they're a lost cause. But what I am arguing is this. When it comes down to the nature of a chaotic, toxic female, it is not just confined to the melanated community. It's not. Because the toxicity in modern woman's nature is worldwide. Who else has just joined us? Ah, there's the Iceman. What's going on, big homie? Appreciate you for joining, man. Shout out. Let me give a brief shout out to the Iceman. Thank you so much for joining us, man. And listen, if you haven't subscribed to his channel on YouTube, man, go and subscribe. This man is one of the best scholars around in YouTube. He's a real one. And we need more real brothers like him. Shout out to you, OG. I appreciate it, man. Peace and blessings be upon you. I hope your health is doing much better than it was before, man. Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. Everything is all right, man. Everything is all good. Everything is all good. My pleasure, brother. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. See, and I'm going to say this. Hopefully after tonight, brothers are going to stop looking or zeroing in at only the black woman. Now, I'll say again, the black woman, the contemporary black woman has got a lot to be desired. Ain't no doubt about that. But this must teach you that the chaotic, dangerous nature, this gynocentric, hypergamous nature, rather, the hypergamous nature of these females, it ain't just confined to the black woman, it's worldwide. It ain't just a black thing. It ain't just a Caucasian thing. It ain't just a Latino thing. It ain't just an Asian thing. It ain't just a Jamaican thing. It ain't just an Australian thing, an Indian thing, a Canadian thing. This is worldwide. And see, these loser females, they getting desperate now. Why are they getting desperate? Because this gentleman's ex-girlfriend is going to call herself going to sue this man and wants half of his wealth. Botch, you ain't married to him. You never were married to him. You were in a 4-year relationship. So how the hell do you think you are entitled to half of his wealth? What have you done? What in the hell have you done, right, to make you think that you are entitled to that man's wealth, half of it? Because the fact is, you ain't entitled to nothing. Period. Let me read this article. I want to read this article right quick. It says Israel Adesanya's ex-girlfriend has reportedly sued the UFC champion, wants half of his wealth. See, this entitled mentality is really, really, really starting to get you toxic females in a hell of a lot of trouble. Let me read this article. It says Israel Adesanya finally earned his long-desired triumph over longtime rival Alex Pereira, I hope I pronounced his name properly, at UFC 287. The two men headlined, an event that ended with one of the most emphatic knockouts of 2023 thus far. Despite conquering his boogeyman, the last style bender's greatest foe seems to come from outside the MMA world. I want y'all to understand, especially my brothers in the melanated community that's always been talking about the black woman ain't this and the black woman ain't that, white women is where it's at. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. And see, Nani just hit the nail on the head. Her skin makes her entitled, she feels. Exactly. Exactly. See, this is the reason why I have always opposed toxic females. Because toxic females have taught men to tread lightly and to treat them accordingly. I've heard my brothers tell me all the time, hey, Yosef, you need to go ahead, man, and you need to get your passport, bruh. Listen, if I get a passport, what am I going to get a passport for? Because the same behavioral patterns, right, that's happening over here in the Western Hemisphere, it's catching all over the place now. It's worldwide. Now, I'm not an expert on relationships because common sense tells me, look, if you are a man that have worked your ass off, right? You've worked your ass off to reach the heights of economic security. And you've had to suffer so many setbacks to get to where you are. People have no idea. And then for some drifter to come along and try and attempt to steal, because that's really what it is, to steal half of his wealth, and you ain't even married, you weren't even legally married. No. And then the nerve and the audacity of these females to even ask the question, why doesn't a man rather approach them? Are you serious? Are you serious? And you want to know why men act the way they act. And it ain't just personal, it's professional now. Men don't want to have nothing to do with you toxic females because you taught them to treat you accordingly. Men continue to grow cold and indifferent towards you. You've taught them. Or rather, I should say, collectively, you've taught us to treat your asses just like you are nothing. Because really, in essence, you are nothing. There's indifference there. There's no respect there. There's no warm feelings there. You taught us how to treat your asses the way we treat you. Let me continue reading this article. It says the former kickboxer has been embroiled in a heated clash with his ex-girlfriend, Charlotte Powdrell, for some time now. In late April, the reigning UFC middleweight champion launched a vicious tirade against Powdrell. Now, she is reportedly targeting half of Adesanya's wealth after allegedly suing him. And this is what the reigning middleweight champion had to say. It says here, Israel Adesanya responds to ex-girlfriend taking him to court for half of his money. This is what Mr. Israel Adesanya says. He says, quote, I wish I let you drift away into a miserable existence, because misery loves company and you love being a victim. Anyhow, sign the tenancy agreement ASAP. Also, I really hope your lawyer, I hope you lawyer up and come for my assets like you said. I hope you try to affect my business such as Puma with your weak bitch threats. End quote. Now, let me ask all my brothers that's been preaching the gospel about getting a passport. Do you really think women worldwide or overseas is much better than some of these toxic broads over here in the United States? Because if you are foolishly still thinking that women overseas is much better than these toxic bimbos over here in the United States, you're delusional, bruh. I told y'all before, this is a worldwide problem. It's a worldwide issue, period. These females have been teaching y'all. They've been showing you how they really are. They've been teaching you how their psychological apparatus is set up. They've been teaching you how their psychological hygiene is tampered and damaged and compromised. They've been teaching y'all the whole time. The red flags have been there. They've been waving the red flags. The crimson flags have been waving. You just been ignoring it. Now, for some sorry ass soy boy, because you got some idiot that's out here that's spewing this garbage talking about he need to go ahead and give her half of his wealth. Shut the hell up and grow a set. Grow a pair of testicles for once in your life. You pussy ass simps. You popular with all these loser females online, but you complaining about your dating life in real life. Get out of here with that nonsense, bruh. See, these females are getting desperate. I told y'all. A toxic woman just ain't a black woman. It's a worldwide problem. Brother Sam says, so I guess they are getting in where they can fit in. Their attempts to do that is very, very futile. It's very futile. He continues, so it's not exclusive. Nah, they were never married. They were in a 4-year long-term monogamous relationship. And it's apparent, once again, that when it comes down not only to marriage itself, but also when it comes down to relationships, women are in business. Women look at marriages and relationships as a business. And it's time for us as men collectively to stop being in love. Men marry for love. Women marry for opportunity. I told y'all, they don't see you as human beings. They don't. They don't see you as human beings. They see you as a tool. They see you as a resource. Hell, I'll go as far as to even tell you they don't even see you as a man. They see you as a tool that they own. They see themselves as a slave master. They see your ass as a damn servant, as a damn slave. Let's throw that out there too. Nadia says so true, but a sad situation. There's no denying that it's a sad situation. Of course it is. But see, here's the thing: toxic females created this whole atmosphere. Toxic women have made it difficult for honorable women that's single to get the kind of man that they want. They just screwed it up for everybody. Men no longer look at women as assets. Men now look at women as liabilities. And I've also been hearing less and less about a man just need to go ahead and pump and dump. They stopped saying that ish too. They ain't talking about just pumping and dumping no more. Oh, no. They ain't doing that. No. They ain't doing that neither. I'm hearing less and less men say, man, go ahead and just pump and dump her, bro, or get your passport. See? They ain't saying that. They're not preaching that gospel no more because they're seeing firsthand just how dangerous these females are. Period. Let's go further. It's gotten to the point now where even lesbians are sick and tired of women. About 2 years ago, I had a lesbian that was chopping it up with me. She said, Yosef, I'm so sick of these hoes, I don't know what to do. And when she said this, I'll admit, I was taken back. I was taken aback. I was taken back. I was in shock. Because I never expected for her to say that she was tired of these females. I also read an article, maybe about 2 years ago, right around the same time that I was talking to a lesbian. I read in an article where a lesbian says that she was sick and tired of these women also, that she was going back to a man. Yeah. She said that she was going back to a dude. She was going back to a man. And then another lesbian said, I'm just going to stay single and just stay the hell away from her. Even lesbians ain't checking for these women no more. They walking away from them too. What does that tell you? What should it tell you? But once again, when you have somebody like me that's telling the truth, you get all in your little pussyfied ass feelings. Oh, yeah, that's right. I know why that is. It's all right for me to tell the truth as long as your feelings ain't hurt. It's all right for me to tell the truth as long as it don't affect you. It's all right for me to tell the truth as long as it doesn't pinpoint to you. Well, hit dogs always holler. Hit dogs always holler. See, that's the damn problem. When it comes down to toxic females, here's the problem. When it comes down to toxic females, Their emotions is their facts. Their feelings is facts. And speaking of feelings and facts, the name of the OG's podcast is Facts Over Feelings. Oh, geez, a trip. The OG says, I don't know why that lesbian left the D alone in the first place, but welcome back. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Brother James, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for joining the fray. Nadia says some single women are not dateable or marriage worthy. No, they're not. No, they're not. Especially the same ones that call women like you pick-me's. If they call a woman like you, Nadia, or your sister, my girlfriend Marla, or any other woman, doesn't matter what nationality you are, but when they call women like y'all pick-me's, what does that tell you? Listen, I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again. Whenever you find a toxic female that's going to call women pick-me's, guess what? Guess what? You are living the lifestyle that they've always wanted to live. You are living their lifestyle. You are living their life they've always wanted. If you're enjoying my content so far on Facebook, my Cash App ID is $hidden one truth. That's $hidden one truth. $hidden one truth. Support the podcast, support the cause. If you enjoy my content on YouTube and Facebook. Nadia asked the question, so what's the number body count for the lesbians since they are between the D and the P? I don't know. Now, that is something I can't answer because I really don't know. I can only assume that with the way things are now, it just could very well be very, very low. It could be. I don't know. Don't take my word for it. I don't know. Brother James says, females get mad when I ignore them instead of lusting after them. That's got to be embarrassing for them. Oh, well, laugh out loud. Ha ha. See, I'm glad you brought that up. Nadia says, I guess it would be hot. It may be. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes. I really don't know. Who knows? I really don't know. Brother Sam says, I want my woman with a lifestyle like she lives by herself. Brother Sam, happy hunting. Now, let me say this. Brother James brought up a good point. And see, here's the thing. As a matter of fact, I want to piggyback off of what Nadia just said. Some single women are not dateable or marriage worthy. I don't dispute that. And I also want to piggyback off of what Brother James just said. Because both of y'all are right. And see, the kind of women y'all are talking about, here's the deal. Mind you, once again, when you find a woman that is jealous of another woman and they call you a pick-me, first and foremost, they are displaying to you just how ignorant and stupid they really are. That's first thing. The second thing is, like I said before, you are living the life that they've always wanted. You know why they're jealous of you? I tell you, they're jealous of you because number one, you did mismanage your vaginas like they did. Number two, they're not ran through, or rather, you're not ran through like they are. That's number two. Number three, you're with the kind of man that they've always dreamed of having. But what happened was when they were younger and they were stupid, they bypassed the dude that you are married to, and they're kicking themselves for it now. Come on, talk to me. Y'all know I'm telling the damn truth. And see, when you find a female that's toxic and is gonna call another woman a pick me, the woman that is married, that's happy, that has a beautiful family, that has a wonderful husband, she's loving, she's loyal, he's loving, he's loyal, all that stuff. The real pick me's are jealous of that. And once again, the so-called pick me's are the women, are the ladies that have not mismanaged their time or their bodies, and they're not ran through. By chance, they are, or they once were promiscuous, but they stopped before time ran out for them. See? And because men that they want, men that they crave, man that they desire, ain't paying them any attention. And that burns them up. It burns them up. Yes, it is. Lust is a sin. Yes. Yeah. And that's exactly what they are. They're succubists. They're energy vultures. They're spirit vultures. You understand? I can't even tell y'all just how envious and how hateful of the so-called pick-me's these feminists really are. But see, loser females like Israel Adesanya's ex-girlfriend is getting worse for them. Y'all hold on a minute. Don't go anywhere. Hold on. All right, y'all. My bad. Had to let my family member in. But yeah, I've also taught y'all. Also, look, you got to be careful of the kind of people that's always spewing this garbage. Then I tell y'all, listen. You have to be careful of the kind of people that you listen to. You can't be listening to everybody. Because if you listen to all the negativity, guess what? That's going to affect you epigenetically. That's going to affect your mind. See? Brother James said, I want the kind of woman mentioned in Proverbs chapter 31. Brother James, you ain't the only one in that, man. As quiet as it's kept, there's a lot of men that want the same thing you do. And see, I understand why men are boycotting marriages and relationships. I get it. I understand that because these toxic females, look, they've given them every reason to do that. What's that, Naughty? Please explain what? What's up? Brother James says, I won't settle for less than a truly virtuous woman. You shouldn't. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. Men and women settle. Men and women settle. Because the fact is, both the men and the women, they don't have enough confidence in themselves to go after the man or the woman that they select or they want to mate with. They don't have that kind of confidence in themselves. Oh, Proverbs. Okay. But most men ain't cut for a certain type of woman. That's both sides. I'm not discrediting what you're saying, but I try to look at things instead of one-sided. Because I'm gonna tell you, and perhaps you've seen it for yourself too. Whatever a woman does, you got some dudes that's crazy enough to do the same thing. In a lot of instances. Proverbs, what James said. All right, let me give you just a brief synopsis on Proverbs chapter 31. The book of Proverbs is a book of wisdom, as you know. The last chapter of the book of Proverbs is coming from the mother of a king. And she is instructing her son as to how a woman, a virtuous woman, should conduct herself. The man's name is King Lemuel. And King Lemuel's mother is telling her son the kind of woman he needs to be with as his queen. She should be God-fearing, God-loving, honoring. But in Hebrew, we acknowledge the Most High as Yah. So I'm going to say Yah, Yah fearing, Yah loving, Yah honoring, Yah respecting. YAH. Okay. In other words, to put it more contemporary, to make it more in the contemporary vernacular, King Lemuel's mother is telling her son, get you a pick-me. The so-called pick-me. Get you a virtuous woman. One that is qualified to be a wife. That's all that is. That's all that is. And see, if more women were genuinely, right, were more genuine in being a wife instead of wanting the title of a wife but not getting or not wanting the responsibility, the divorce rates in this country would not be skyrocketing the way that it is. Because you got doggone near 85, 90% of women initiating the divorce. This is why I said women don't look at men as men or as human. They see them as tools and resources. And the toxic female views herself as a slave master and the man as a slave. See? No problem. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Anytime. Anytime. Yeah, yeah, brother Sam. That's all it is. That's all. That's just a brief synopsis of Proverbs 31. That's all it is. Brother James puts it like this. He put it on the screen. It is about the virtuous woman of God Almighty, the best kind of woman for a good man, and he will be happy with. That brings me to mentions Ephesians 5:22 through 32. Yeah. Yeah. So once again, and I was schooling my sister a little bit about this the other day. See, look, women like yourself, women like my sister, women like yourself, women like Marla and others. Look, y'all were raised differently than these females of today. You weren't raised to be promiscuous. You weren't raised to go in and out of jumping out of one relationship in the sack and into another. I know you weren't. You were raised to be different. You were brought up and you were raised to be like the woman in Proverbs 31. Now you got it, Nadia. Now you got it. With that being said, he would have to be the type of man that can lead his woman. There you go. There you go. But see, here's the thing. You have to keep in mind that not every woman thinks like that. See, this is one of the biggest problems with a lot of people. A lot of people think that other people are going to think just like them. That ain't happening. This is why I always encourage y'all, pay attention to the kind of people that's saying such and such a thing. Now, let me say this. Women like Israel Adesanya's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, that woman's dangerous. As entitled as she is, she's dangerous. You know why? Because I'm going to tell you why. The reason why she's dangerous is because coming soon to a courtroom near you, it's not going to matter if a man or a woman is married or not. Because the court laws is, especially the family court laws, is already against the man. Somehow or another, somebody is going to make the point that whether that man or that woman is married or not, take half of his resources. You watch what I tell you. That's a dangerous woman. Her entitled ass just started something. She sowed the seeds of evil. You watch what I tell you. I really believe this. I really believe this with all my being. I really believe she started something. This is the very beginning. This is the very genesis of something vile, evil, and wicked. You watch what I tell you. Eventually, it is not going to matter. It's not going to matter whether or not a man or a woman is married. You watch what I tell you. She started something. She sowed the seeds of evil. You watch what I tell y'all. You cannot afford to underestimate the power of these devils, man. You can't. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't. You should never underestimate the power of evil. Never. I mean it. You never, ever, ever underestimate the power of evil. Never underestimate the power. I'm telling you. Now, I don't know when it's going to be or how long it's going to take for that to happen, but watch what I tell you. It's coming on the horizon. She started something. She sowed the seeds in the minds of these weak, wimpish, no good, pussified simpletons, these kleptogamists, and they are really going to start going after men harder than ever before, from the richest to the lowest on the economic totem pole. You watch what I tell you. It's coming. Brother Sam says, I am going to find me a virgin from head to toe. My brother, that's a very noble thing. That's a very noble thing. But I say this with all due respect to you, bro. Happy hunting. Because in the melanated community alone, you got 75% of women that have STIs and STDs, bro. Let's round it up. It's 80%, right? It's 80% of melanated women that got an STI or an STD. Out of that 80%, 75% of throat cancer cases comes from a man performing oral sex on a woman. These are shocking statistics. These are shocking statistics. But I'm letting you know from Jump Street. And let me say this too. And this is both for man and woman. It ain't just for the man or just for the woman. It's for both of you, man and woman. Listen, when you select to be with a man or a woman, right? Please understand, you are not going to be with a man or a woman that's brand new. You're not. I learned from my sisters not to file any court appeals against my husband. That is a subject in and of itself. See, your observations, y'all got me brainstorming, right? See, here's the deal. All right, let me go ahead and observe your observations so I can make my next point. Brother James says, I never been married or had any kids. I never had any STDs nor felonies. I don't have to pay child support or alimony. I'm very thankful to y'all. I'm not dating right now because I know too much. Nadi says, worthless women's, that's money hunting. Hey, you said it. I didn't. But you're right. Brother James says, syphilis in Mississippi has increased a lot from what I heard. Yeah, I've been hearing the same thing. I've been hearing STIs in Mississippi has increased and it's getting worse all the time. Nadia says, in some cultures, parents choose their child's spouse. Yeah. In certain circles, that's called playing Jewish mama. In certain circles that I was once associated with, that's called playing Jewish mother. But you're right. In a lot of cultures, that does happen. And unfortunately, I haven't been hearing too much of that at all either. Brother James says, that's true. It's usually the fathers choosing mates for their daughters. Usually. Yeah. Now, let me say this. And I got to cut to not a commercial break, but I'm going to give y'all, we got to go to an intermission right quick. Let me say this. I have tried my best, not just tonight, but every time I go on the air, I've tried my best to get y'all to understand that when it comes down to any man's or any woman's behavioral patterns, even from the way they think, how their psychological apparatus is set up, guess what? People act their genetics. People act their genetics. However a man thinks, however a woman thinks or acts, it is genetic. What we have here, when it comes down, let me pull up this article right quick. Hold on just a moment. Let me pull it back up. When it comes down to the case of one Miss Charlotte Powdrell, you have to understand she is acting her genetics. And in addition to her acting her genetics, she is also acting because of her environment, her ecology. So genetics and one environment determines another, because it determines how act, think, and behave. I can't stress that enough. I can't stress that enough. I can't. I'm serious. And this is what people fail to understand and fail to realize and accept and come to terms with. People act their genetics. Either they come from good stock, or they come from good genes, genetics, or they are dysgenically bred. Meaning, the mother and the father had multiple partners. And you fail to understand also, keep in mind that when a man does not have protection and he ejaculates inside of the woman's vaginal cavity, his DNA stays inside her forever. Let's say a woman has sex with 3 men unprotected. The 4th man she winds up being with. That 4th man ejaculates inside her, gets her pregnant. Guess what? That baby, if she carries it to term, she is going, or that baby rather, is going to have the genetics of all 4 men. That's what people don't realize. People don't get. And because people don't realize this, the fact is, this is why a lot of men and a lot of women are misinformed. And they're not getting the proper education and the proper knowledge when it comes down to the science and idiosyncrasies of sex and relationships. That's what people don't understand. Let me acknowledge your observation so we can take a brief intermission. Nadi says that's true because wives of those cultures know that the husbands are the head and not the tail. Facts. Brother Sam says, my mother could not pick my wife because she says the ugliest women are the best for me. Now, Mother Eleonora, I must respectfully disagree with you, Mother James. I really do. I have the utmost respect for you, but I have to disagree with you respectfully, because if you've seen the struggle faces that I've seen, the poverty face critters that I've seen, the struggle bots, the struggle faces, the poverty face critters, the swamp donkeys that I have seen, you would see where I'm coming from too. And see, here's the thing about Brother Sam. See, Brother Sam, he wants a woman that's just like you, Mother James. And it's been scientifically proven that a man looks for characteristics just like the characteristics in his mother. And in a lot of times, a lot of instances, he also wants a woman that looks like his mother too. And that in and of itself is another subject for another time too. Brother James says he used to be like that in Black America until the government gave the wives incentives to divorce their husbands. Then the rise of the single mother started. It 1970, 2 years after Dr. King's assassination. That's when we started seeing the rise of the single parented household. Brother Sam says all those different spirits. Yeah, different spirits in the spiritual world, in the scientific world, different DNA. Nadi says that's why these grown women running around act crazy. They're not acting. That's them. That's not an act. That's them. That's them. Yeah. That's them. Brother Sam says, I told her I have to look at her every day. See, I understand, because let me tell you something. A struggle bot, a poverty face critter, a struggle face, a swamp donkey, those are Wangamathang softeners. Those are Wangamathang softeners. You don't need that. Those are succubus themselves too. But that's neither here or there. Why are you crying? Why are you crying laughing? Why? Listen, look, I'm just telling you the truth. It is what it is. It is what it is. The audacity of these struggle bots. Poverty face critters. Snow rats. Sewer rats. I talked about the audacity of these struggle faces too. Just talk. But that's just, you know, I'm just acting a clown now. Brother James says soul ties are bodily fluids and spiritual mixing. That's why I don't tolerate cheating. Once a cheater is always a cheater, especially in times like these. That's for sure. That's doggone for sure. Nadi says he should have been introduced to Giselle. Well, we'll see. We'll see. See, Yosef, you got lucky with a pretty face. Yeah. Indeed. I agree. Listen, y'all, I got to take a brief intermission. I got to get myself together. I'm starting to feel a little woozy. Excuse me. I'm starting to feel a little bit woozy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to step aside for about 5 minutes to get my head together. And then we're going to come back and we're going to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all for your dialogue and your observations. Brother James says alley cats and lot lizards hiss when you ignore them. Lord have mercy. You're right. Nadia, I don't think you want me to bring you a cold drink, because you know, I'm kind of contagious and I ain't trying to get nobody else sick. So yeah. But this is Yosef's 2 cents. Don't go too far. We'll be right back. We're going to wrap it up in a few moments. We'll be back. All right, y'all. We're back, and this is Yosef's 2 cents. I'm your man Yosef X, and tonight we have been discussing loser females are getting desperate, and they are getting desperate. And I want to take this time to thank all of y'all for listening. Like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Like, share, and tag your family and your friends on Facebook. On hidden truth. We can wrap this up. Told y'all long enough. I'm going to give y'all 2 cents before we get up on out of here. Tonight we have discussed tonight about the hyperbole nature of a woman. I have tried my best tonight to share that hold on just a second. Am I echoing? Anybody else hears me still echoing? All right. Naughty says I'm still okay. All right. All right. We've discussed to the best of our ability to get you all to see the hypergamous nature of how these modern day females really are and how they have always behaved. I've also tried my best to get you all to see. I've also tried my best. My fault. All right. I've also tried my best to get you all to see and to understand why men continue to walk away and to treat women accordingly. And they have been treating women accordingly because they have been taught, meaning the men have been taught to treat women accordingly. You cannot afford to treat these modern day females right. You must treat them accordingly. A man continues to grow every day to understand the nature of how these females are. Now, in the process of a man understanding how these women are, a lot of men are loving women a lot less. And see, for a man, right? It's not about so much how a woman looks. A man knows for a fact that any woman can have big breasts, big behind, thick thighs, the whole shebang, long hair, all that stuff. A man is focusing more on the characteristics of a woman. This is one of the reasons why a man is not focused so much on looks. Looks fade. Looks fade. You understand? Looks fade. And because looks fade, a man ain't looking for a woman with her looks, because a man is understanding the nature of a woman. That's why he doesn't love her. It's been said in a lot of circles that you got two choices. Either you learn to understand a woman and move accordingly, or you can continue to call yourself loving that woman, but you cannot have it both ways. Think about it. When you understand the nature of a man or a woman or the nature of an animal, you move accordingly. That's what you do. Think about it. That's why more and more men are walking away from these females. Men are not interested in a woman's looks so much, because a man, yes, it's true, a man, we're visual, we are very visual creatures. But more and more of us are looking like, hey, yo, look, the reality is the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Now, am I saying that there are no good women in the world out here? I never said that. Not one time have I said that there aren't any good women in the world. I never said that. I never argued that point. Now, did I? No. I've always pinpointed the kind of female that's dangerous to a man and other people. And I will still continue to say how dangerous Mr. Israel Adesanya's girlfriend is. That's a dangerous woman. That's a dangerous female. That's a dangerous female. She's extremely dangerous because she is sowing the seeds for a man, whether or not he's married, to be stripped of half of his wealth. Think about it. Think about it. People ain't thinking of, they're not thinking of this in the short term. I'm thinking long term now. You understand? And because I'm thinking about this long term, that's why all these court, the family courts, it's really going to be weaponized against men now. See, here's the thing too. With Fed now on the horizon, starting in about 2 months. Excuse me, y'all. It's time for me to get off there. I'm getting clumsy now. But the thing is, when it comes down to the paper money here in the United States, it's going digital. Why do you think they're talking about get ready to say goodbye to a Cash App and Zelles, Venmo, PayPal? The paper money in this country is losing its value. Everything is going digital. And don't think that these females don't know what's going on. They are trying to do everything they can to secure the bag by any means necessary. Now, again, I may be wrong when I say this, but I strongly believe she sowed the seeds of evil, because it's not going to matter whether or not a man or a woman is married. That man or that woman, whether they're married legally or common law marriage, the family court laws is going to be even more weaponized than it is now. Do I want this to happen? Hell no, I don't want this to happen. We already got enough hell to deal with. But there's going to be some more hell on the horizon. So when it comes down to loser females like Charlotte, she's a loser because she's entitled. She's a loser because, as Nadia stated earlier, because the color or the pigmentation of her skin, to feel superior. Others that's preaching a past, support all you, but the highest nature of a female is wide. And not only a lot of these pergamous, also hybristics. What in the hell, Yosef? Hybristic. Hybristifiac. A hybridiac is a male that is attracted to male criminal tendencies, especially if that criminal is violent. Hybristophiliac. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Yeah, a hybristophiliac is a female that is sexually attracted to a male, especially if that man has criminal tendencies. So, let this be a lesson. Hypergamy and hybristophiliacs, it ain't just confined to the United States, and it ain't just confined to the melanated community. It's worldwide. And loser females ain't just confined to the Western Hemisphere. It is worldwide. And with that said, folks, guess what? I rest my case. Let's do this over again. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. It's been a ball, but the clock on the wall says that's all for now. I wish y'all a good evening. Thank y'all so much for listening. I hope you got something out of this podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and tag on Facebook. Until next time, I'm Yosef X. That's been my 2 cents. Y'all have a good night. Peace. I'm out.